kind of hit me about 2 weeks ago that my goals right now, I'm in grad school and my goal is take night classes, next year do my internship and be certified principal certification at the end of next school year. But while I'm doing my internship, it's most likely that I will not be in the classroom, which means I just realized that this could possibly be my last school year teaching in elementary for now. So I wanted to end it with a big bang. I've done lots of crazy things in my 7 years teaching, from taking kids to Mariners games, going 4 days in Bainbridge Island, camping yearly, integrating technology, 90-inch smart boards. We've got $20,000 worth of iPads. I've had so much support from you guys in making all this happen. I don't want to go to the well too much, but this is something that I was really excited about possibly happening. It's not going to happen, but it might. In teaching at Northgate, these students come from diverse backgrounds, and it's definitely a Title I school, which is high-need school. So my biggest thing I've always tried to do is engage students with dreaming big and trying to come up with new and creative ways to attach my learning to the real life. We dialed in. These kids became learners. They were inspiring to me and other classrooms that they were just ready to learn after the first month, and it just was like they were just so hungry for the lessons I was teaching. And as we got into the social studies curriculum, they really had some great conversations about their spot in our government, their place in our government, understanding that the Constitution is the backbone of this country, and why it's so important to be active. Especially learning through the civil rights movement how kids played a part in that. The Children's March, they knew that their place in history was very important. And in these conversations, I was like, talking to my partner, and we're saying, well, we need to go on a field trip to kind of promote this and kind of put it to the real world. And we thought about going to Olympia, the state capital, and then I said, why would we not just even try to go to Washington, D.C.? Kind of sarcastically, like it wasn't going to happen, but it might. And she was like, let's just go for it. There's no way you can make it happen. So come back. I get the approval on January 7th, possibly, from my principal. I think that's when we got the thumbs up, brought it to the families, and we just started, with an ambitious task of raising just about $30,000 in 3 months to take these kids from coast to coast. And I knew that possibly this opportunity to go meet the Constitution, to go to the White House, could possibly inspire learning in their place in the government forever. The fundraising was hands down the scariest thing of it all. The ideas are free, the planning is free. Just coming up with all this money for kids. And the major thing the district said was, "You're Northgate, you know that, right?" And I was like, "Yes, I recognize that." And he's like, "Well, there's gonna be some kids that can't afford it." And I said, "We'll raise money for them." And they gave me the approval because they said as long as everyone can go, whether they can pay it all or not, then you get the approval. So it was now focusing on how to get this money. So the biggest one was we had a good buddy of mine that sits next to me at the season tickets at Seahawks games, and he has a thing that's tailgating for a cause, right? So they do a tailgate every Seahawk game, and people donate money, and that money goes 100% directly to a cause. They do it for the cancer walks. They've donated to just many things. And sitting next to him, he was excited to support me. So he was like, "Yo, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do a tailgate for you guys. It's the playoff game versus the Saints. It's gonna be big. The news is gonna be there." And I was really excited, but also nervous because let's say they donate a couple $100, I'm still $29,800 short, So it was like nerve-wracking taking that first donation, knowing that the mountain was so high. And that was really the kickoff.
A lot of it is kicked off with food. We've got pancakes here, freshly made, sausages and bacon, and Bloody Marys. This guy, Jay Wilbur, he's local, so we've got them all here. But what I wanted to find out was what do you do? Is this all given out free? How does this work?
It is all given out free, and anybody can come down and join us anytime. But one of the things we do ask is if you would like, you can donate, because 100% of any donations that we receive actually go back into our local community. And today and any games in the future, which we hope we won, we will be supporting Northgate Elementary in order to send them to Washington, D.C.
And I think it's important to note that you do tailgating with a purpose here.
Yes, absolutely. Tailgating with a purpose. We love our team, but we love our community, and our desire is to give that back in any way that we can.
And then after that, we had a ton of friends. I asked them to sponsor kids. So I said, on your own, can you guys raise $600 through different ways? So you're gonna literally sponsor a kid. You're gonna raise $600 for this kid through however your social network, your media, whatever you are. We had people doing bake sales at the works. We had people doing bowl-a-thons. We had poker games. We had just GoFundMes. There were so many people that were out there raising money for our kids. So after that, we had DonorsChoose.org supported us with our hotels. We had online car wash sales. We had it was any way from a $5 donation to a $500, $600 donation. And the biggest one that got us over our hump as we were close was Windermere Foundation. They had donated $5,000 to kind of give us that last boost to put us over. $100, $1,000, $2,000 into it, it seemed crazy, but when we were at like the 24 and 25,000 and it was gonna happen, the feeling I had that this community rallied around for these kids, and I think the community was just as excited to send these kids to DC as the kids. And I thought that connection right there and the accountability of these kids working hard for the people that are sponsoring to them and building that relationships in that way.
Just persevere. There's no, I think in America we have this idea that you're born smart, you're born intelligent, and this is like, this is where you plateau. You know, there's a place where you stop being smart and you're just as smart as, you know, you can be. And it's just not true. And I wish we emphasized more that it's really about effort, it's really about hard work. And I feel like we say that, but the actions that people do around kids don't reflect that, and the things they say don't always reflect that. So I would say to persevere and don't give up, and as mistakes happen, as challenges come, you just have to deal with it and brush it off and get back up and try again. And
well, my advice always is try to concentrate in his assignment o en sus clases. Don't play too much. Take the school seriously. And I put an example for them. Do you want to help your parents? Mom, work hard. Sometimes they have 2 jobs. And they said, yeah, I want to help my mom. So in order to get that goal, just please, you have to focus.
I kind of thought I always forgot I was actually in Washington, D.C. because I was really tired today, so then I was like, oh, we're still in Seattle. Sometimes when people be like, oh, we're in Washington, D.C., I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
I hope the kids remember it for the right reasons. You know, kids are very much like, oh my gosh, I loved when we went to McDonald's. And it's like, okay, we also went to the White House. So I hope it's one of those things that they have had time to reflect on it and think about the experience for what it really is. And it's one of those things too, you don't see that impact until a decade later, 2 decades later, when they're like, man, as an adult, I remember my crazy 5th grade teacher planned this trip to DC and got all these people involved, and so it's one of those things. It's hard to see that impact until later on.
It's a really interesting school because it's super duper small, but I appreciate that because the kids have grown up together and have kind of this family vibe there. It's so much different than most schools. There's a lot of diversity there, especially in the needs of the students. The kids are all really accepting of each other. It's something that you really don't see in many schools these days, and it's kind of precious to see the differences and just how much students understand that other people are learning.
When the ranger asked the children, they raised the hand and fast. They said the perfect words. They know everything about Martin Luther King. I know Melissa is one of the big fan. Even when she was in 2nd grade, she was writing and writing about him. So I was so proud of them, and they want to go there.
If I told a teacher about like if they should go to DC or not, I'd say they should, because we planned this in a really short time, and like even if they're like really doubtful, they should do it, because for a lot of kids it's a really big lifetime experience, because for some people it changes their view on like the world kind of, and like the laws and stuff. And it's not only fun, it's like you learn a lot too.
If I could take back like one of my favorite memories of the entire trip, of the entire experience, it was our final day there. We had walked from the Embassy Suites, which is about 4 blocks away from the White House, all the way to the Spy Museum, down over to the state capitol. I gave the kids an option to either walk to the Lincoln Memorial or catch the train. It was a beautiful day, so we decided to walk through the entire National Mall. We walked past the monument up to the Lincoln Memorial, all the way to the top. It's probably like a 7-mile trip, and we're at the top. My kids are exploring, and I'm literally standing where Dr. Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech. I got Abraham Lincoln over my shoulder. It was probably 90 degrees out there. We had just walked all that. My hands were on my head, and I just took a deep breath, and I just turned around, and I have literally the Washington Monument, the state capitol, and a bunch of kids that are just exploring the Lincoln Memorial. And it was just almost like this, we did it. Like, I felt like I was literally floating. I haven't felt like that, like in an educational just setting of just with all me and my kids, like just on top of the world. And it felt amazing. If I could sum up my message, it would be, dream big. Anything's possible. Hard work beats good luck any day of the week. If you want something, sacrifice. I know that's tough, is to give up something to earn something, right? Sacrifice, and you'll definitely accomplish it. And I think that they need to know that they're valued, that their identity is theirs, and they can grow and become whoever they want. And I think it's important to have self-value. And this trip, the kids had input on everything we did, you know? They were little adults on this trip, and I just want them to know that the door is open to the world, and it's theirs. So I just hope that they open it and find value in themselves as they grow. Become, one last thing is lifelong learning. I'm still learning to this day. Be a lifelong learner, work hard, and just dream big, make it happen. So if they can do that, I think we'll be okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. Right. Thank you.
Stowell, he was one of the big planners for the DC trip and camp. He dropped his phone taking a picture and it cracked. So me and Melissa were sitting down and we talked about we should do something for Stowell, and it's good but bad. It was a perfect opportunity for us to help.
So we asked all the kids, do you have money? And they're like, no, why? And we're like, it's for Stowell, you know. It's like he did everything for us, so we thought it would be a good idea to get people to donate $42. And plus the chaperones are going to donate about $10 or $5, so it'd be like about 70, 60. Raph is going to take his phone and like go with her friend, his friend, I don't know, and try to repair it and say, oh, someone jacked your phone. They'll be all worried, and at the end it's going to be like fixed. It's funny.
Thank you enough. You guys, are you kidding me? No! I literally was gonna freak out because I lost my phone. And I had, you know what? Was I mad when it broke?
Yeah.
No. I was just worried. I was like, I can replace it as long as I have the photos, as long as I have the memories of you guys.
Yeah.
And I had them, and I was like, cool, I'll replace whatever, but.
And now you have extra memory. Yup.
Thank you guys. I truly appreciate it. I stay on the cake. Are you kidding me? Wait, is that you guys win?
Ralph took it. Last second we planned. He planned it out. And then
I thank you so much, guys. I was like, don't do it, don't do it.
we disobeyed.
Disobey. Hey, you guys are rebels. We the people have spoken for the greater common good. This is the moment. One picture with these guys. Where are those guys? Get in here.
Put your tongue in your mouth.
Wait, what?
You guys.
Take it sideways.